Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. Welcome to episode 9 of my Mini-Mandala series. In this video today, we're going to make a snowflake mandala. There are endless ways to create snowflake mandalas. I'm just going to show you one today. All right, so I usually start with a coin, something round. I have a micron PN plastic nib pen, a graphite pencil for drawing and a little bit of shading, and this is a blending tool called a tortillon. All you really need is a pen, pencil, a circular object, and some paper. Okay, I'm going to start with my pencil today, and I'm just going to put the coin somewhere on my page. I'm using a piece of 5" by 5" paper that's in a little sketchbook. I'm just going to trace that shape all the way around, nice and light. Okay, after I do that, I'm going to break up my paper into a grid. So I like to start by making a horizontal line where the center is, and then making a vertical line down the center. Then I'm going to do an X shape, and I want this section to be broken up pretty evenly. It does not have to be perfect, but just giving yourself that visual area to draw in. Nice and light with your pencil. Okay, now I'm going to put my pencil down and pick up my pen. And with these mini mandalas, the idea is just to relax and enjoy the process. We are not looking for perfect symmetry. We are not looking for perfect lines. We're just enjoying the process. Okay, I'm going to start by putting a rounded triangle in each of these shapes. So basically I want the point of my triangle to be pointing in the middle of that area. And it's about the size of the end of my pen. My sections are not perfect, so some of these will be smaller than others, and that's okay. And then I'm going to fill in these lines that I made, but not the circle. Now I'm going to do something called an aura, which is where I just follow along an existing line right beside it. I'm just going along that edge. Adding this extra line adds interest and detail without having to make a whole new shape. Okay. The next step is I'm going to pick up my pencil again, and I'm going to do another series of lines, and I want it to be, I don't know, maybe about 1 inch out here. So just really lightly with my pencil. Just putting in a guide. I got a little wide over here, so maybe I'll make this one a little bit wider. Just a guide. Okay, once I have that in pencil, I'm going to take my pen. I'm going to go to this first little V shape, and I'm going to draw a line all the way down. And in each of those V-shaped areas, I'm drawing that line out to the edge of that circle. Now at the tip of each of these lines, I'm going to put a small circle. And then I'm going to put a small V shape, like that. Typically with a mandala, we are working from the center out, and usually we are filling these areas with so many patterns and designs, and it's kind of fun to work on these lines that are sticking out and adding patterns away from the middle. Okay, now I'm going to add a mountain shape that's going to be taller than the initial V, like that. So we're making a diamond, but it's a little bit smaller at the bottom and taller at the top. See how we're using these lines as a guide? It's looking good. All right, now we're going to make another set of lines, but this time they're going to come off the point of those first little triangle shapes. And I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. I'm going to go just below it. Again, kind of dividing that area in half. If you want to go all the way to the line, go ahead. And I'm going to put a little circle on the top of each of these. And I'm going to do that same little V shape on the bottom. And I'm going to make my V shape go pretty close to that line. It doesn't really matter, but just as a guide. And don't do the top quite yet. So for the top, I'm going to do something very similar. We're going to make that diamond shape, but I'm actually going to go up, do a loop, and come down. So I'm going to go up, loop, and down. Up, loop, and down. If that's difficult for you, go ahead and just make a little triangle and put the loop on afterwards. I love that in mandalas, once you make a shape the first time, even if you make it incorrectly or not the way you wanted, as long as you repeat it, you can enjoy that sense of calm, just making it another 7 or 8 times. Okay, now we're going to go back to the tall lines, and I'm going to put a large loop and a large loop. I want them to be pretty wide, taking up most of that space. So you're skipping the little lines, going to the big lines. Skip the little lines, go to the big lines. And now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do them a little bit smaller, right above it, almost like a wide heart. Loosen the grip on your pen. Let the ink in the pen make the lines. You don't have to push down very hard. And then above those two little loops we just did, I'm just going to put one more circle in there, but I'm going to fill it in. So it's every other line, those tall lines above that leaf shape. And then in those short lines, I'm just going to put a small V in the center of the line. In the center of this initial circle, where all those lines crisscrossed, just going to fill that in a little bit and make a dark circle. And then I'm going to put little V's in the middle of each line all the way around. And if you have room and you'd like to add another little dot filled in between that and the top, you can do that. So our snowflake is done. It's so beautiful. We're going to erase some lines and we're going to add a little bit of shading. It doesn't need a lot of shading, but just to add a little bit of depth to it. I have a kneaded eraser, so I'm just going to erase those lines, get rid of that center circle that I made. Like that. I'm going to pick up my pencil, and essentially a snowflake is clear and see-through, so it wouldn't have any shading, but I want to give mine a little bit of dimension. So in the center here, I'm going to add some graphite around that circle. And I'm just going to spread it out a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of graphite up each of these lines, just a little bit, and spread that out on both sides. Now I'm going to add some around this outside edge, very, very lightly. The outside edge of that initial triangles. And just push it out a little bit to give the illusion of a tiny shadow. It's so pretty. Now on each of these leaves, I'm going to add a little bit just in that bottom bit of all four on each of those large lines. Just a tiny bit in the bottom. And I'm going to push those up and out, but not all the way to the end because I want the ends to be light. And on these large diamond shapes, I'm just going to put some on the right-hand side of each one. So the inside, keeping that consistent all the way around. And I'm going to do it on the small ones as well. And take my tortillon, smooth it out. Giving it just a small shadow. The big ones and the little ones. That's it. That's our beautiful snowflake. Again, there are so many variations. Please get creative. Please enjoy this beginning and have fun making it your own. As always, we initial our work, date our work, and then I love to write a journal entry about what's going on in my life right now. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.